and welcome to the Lehigh Valley Food Podcast. My name's Tim, and today I have with me my co-host, Jacoby.
Today, we're at a nice little place called Jay's Local, okay? It opened up in 2019 in Allentown. It's a little fast and casual, classic, creative American restaurant.
Yeah, and it's got a really cool interior. It's right across the street from Muhlenberg College, for anybody who doesn't know and you're looking to try it out. And the interior is really cool. They got couches, they got chairs, typical restaurant-style stuff.
Bar stuff, too. They have bars right there, bar stools.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They got a place for like students to go work on papers or whatever it is.
You can plug your laptop in right there and just bang out an entire research paper.
And then outside they have a whole like green turf area with yard games and everything else. It's a really cool space. So speaking of really cool space, today's guest on our show is Lyell Scherline, who's the owner and operator of Jay's Local, and he definitely built this restaurant. Opened it in October of 2019, like Jacoby had said before. And the name Jay's Local is in memory of his father, Jay Scherline, who moved to Allentown to start his law practice with his wife and ended up falling in love with the Lehigh Valley and the community and everything else. And it's really a great story.
So with that, let's begin. So Lyle, where are you from?
Actually, the hospital is, a few blocks away from here. My mom knows. She was there during it. I'm from this area, born and raised in Allentown. Yeah, so I'm an Allentonian. Mm-hmm. You could probably tell by looking at my face that I'm from this area. But yeah, I grew up in this area. My whole family's from New York, New Jersey. My parents moved here to start our law firm in the 70s. And they just really enjoyed this area, the Lehigh Valley. I used to call it like Lehigh Valley or whatever growing up. I was like, how do you spell that? The H-I-G-A,
where
what is
every
that?
autocorrect in the planet just doesn't know how to spell it.
Yeah, what is that? Confusing.
So speaking of like your family's from up in New York, obviously the name of the restaurant, Jay's Local. Mm-hmm. You named the place after your father.
Yeah.
And do you want to kind of like tell us a little bit more about that? Kind of like where the inspiration for that was from? And,
sure.
You know.
Do you have like a box of tissues, anyone? Is Costco still open?
I mean, there's plenty of napkins over here.
My dad, he passed in 2012 and was very fond of the area. When he moved here, he just got very involved in the community, was on a lot of boards, did a lot of philanthropic work. And he just like really enjoyed this area. So we knew whatever we did with this space, we didn't even think we were gonna, open up our own restaurant. We were thinking of maybe renting out the space or doing something else. But when the opportunity came to actually like open up our own restaurant, we kind of wanted my dad to be the forefront of it, just Absolutely. Because he was so involved in our lives and everything we did. So we named it after him. And, the local aspect of it is, he just enjoyed being a local of this area. So we really wanted to showcase all of the businesses around here. There's really great colleges, there's really great hospitals. A lot of people don't know that, there's really good farms and good products from this area. So that's kind of what we wanted to focus on.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys have a very beautiful story written on your website about like the whole backstory of the restaurant and everything like that. So anybody who wants to read that, I recommend definitely going and checking that out.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Yeah, my assistant in middle school, she did a really good job writing up that blurb. The grammar, I think, is all on.
It's good. It's good. So what, like, from that, you said you rented the space or you were looking at the space and you didn't know why a restaurant?
I always liked food. This was already a restaurant. The previous owner had a restaurant here. So all the equipment was here. I always liked food. My mom was actually not the best cook growing up, so I was always used to eating kind of mediocre food.
She didn't hear that.
And I didn't know if she just didn't like cooking or if, she wasn't good at it. So I always, wanted to find out. So I took some cooking lessons when I was studying abroad in Argentina, got really involved in food and was curious about it. And I learned to cook. And my dad was a big foodie. He always used to say, you live to eat, not to, what was it? Eat to live. Live to eat, not to eat to live. So he enjoyed food. He was very similar to me. He was always like munching on stuff and trying different things. And my wife, I think if she knew my dad, she'd, understand where it came from, because I'm always just trying different foods. And she would probably slap the food out of his mouth also, just like she tries to do to me sometimes.
Hey, you and I are very much alike. I love eating.
Yeah, the mouth is for feeding, right?
My question is, all right, so you said you studied abroad in Argentina.
I did.
What were you studying?
I got my master's in business down there.
Oh,
so I
okay.
was always like interested in travel and just international relations and cultures and stuff. So I went down there to learn Spanish and become fluent. I figured that would always get me like a heads up on the competition once I graduated from college. So went there to learn Spanish, got involved in, the food scene, and really enjoyed, traveling. I spent some time in Brazil. So I was down there for a long time and just, really explored the different aspects of food and culture and all that stuff.
Very cool. So you brought up, obviously it's Jay's local, and all of the ingredients are local. And we kind of touched on it a little bit before, but I'm going to pretend we didn't. So, yeah, obviously we have Jay's local, and all of your ingredients, well, most of your ingredients are locally sourced. Do you want to kind of like talk about the inspiration for that, why you do that? And obviously it builds into the whole theme, but, like how you found the ingredients that you're using?
Yeah, we always knew it was kind of be at the forefront just to like support this community, give these small businesses an opportunity to kind of showcase their stuff in this space. It's a really cool, eclectic space. We're very industrial. We have a lot of different furniture, so people could come and hang out on our couches. We have like the bar seating behind me where, a lot of students from Muhlenberg like to come and just hook up their laptops and just spend hours here. So, we really wanted to do, locally sourced products.
Yeah.
We had a manager, being that this is my first restaurant. We brought in a manager when we first opened to kind of guide us through the process. He did a great job, and he helped us. He had a lot of experience, so he helped us source the material. He went out to different farms, had a lot of experience doing that. So we made really good connections with a lot of local vendors, and it was really personal too. We got to go out to farms and like try different products. When they deliver, when we get our local deliveries, they come in, we know them by name. We ask, what's new? Was there anything else that, we could add to our menu that you guys are coming out with? So it's been like a really rewarding experience dealing locally and not just, calling a 1-800 number and being like, hey, could I get a case of chicken?
And have some dude drop it off.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And then ask us for like a Coke to go or something. We don't even sell Coke here. So yeah, that personal experience with the local community has been probably one of the best parts about it.
Awesome.
So with the local community, right? So when you started, right, when did you actually go and ask like Muhlenberg? Like when did that whole thing get set up?
That was actually before we bought the building.
Okay.
We knew there's a school right across the street, and the previous business that was here before us wasn't even open for a year. And I've never owned a restaurant. So that's like, how many things is that? Like 15 things against us?
Yeah, that's a lot against you.
So we actually had a close family friend who did a lot of business in this area, and he gave us the idea to reach out to the school, see, if anybody wants to get involved and collaborate with us. So we found out that there's an entrepreneurship department at Muhlenberg, and, these are creative thinkers just like us, willing to take risks. And these are, the future. So we wanted to give them, an opportunity. So 2 classes from the entrepreneurship department came in and they checked out our space. And then they went back and they put together ideas. So they basically pitched us ideas. It was just like Shark Tank. We went in, cool. Students were super nervous because they had to do a PowerPoint presentation. And we were like, just do your thing. Give us an idea for this space. We want to give you guys a place that you could go to off campus.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, they did.
It worked out pretty well.
Yeah, there were, I think, 30 students. So I'm going to read off their names real quick just to thank them. if everybody has like a good 15 minutes to listen. But yeah, it was very nice. And it was nice seeing the students. These are, some of them were freshmen, sophomores in college, and they're having the opportunity to kind of decide what's going to go in a unoccupied space right across the street from their campus.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't get that opportunity. And that's kind of one of the things that, brings my dad into the whole, experience, that he used to give people opportunities like crazy. He would have a brand new car and my brother's just getting his permit and he'd let him like take it out for the night. He was just one of those people that, even if you didn't really deserve it or, he would just like welcome people to enjoy life just like he did.
Yeah.
It's a good way to like give back, And
Yeah.
the students had something in their belt, be like, yeah, I helped make this building across the street.
Yeah.
Plan it and everything.
It's pretty cool. And just seeing their faces, when they tell their friends, like, yeah, I was involved in that whole process. That's just like the really cool part about it.
No, and it's great. It's great for you guys because you built something that the students already knew they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great for them because it's a perfect resume builder to help them out.
Definitely.
So everything about that is amazing.
Did the students help with the menu at all? Or was that more a little bit of both of like the manager, the students, and just the whole collaborative effort?
So that was in the pitches that they did. So they went out, they surveyed the area, they interviewed the student population, the local neighborhood population to kind of give this area something that they were looking for. So from all, this wasn't like, I'm going to invest in your business like Shark Tank. We took different aspects of each presentation and put it into this concept. So they wanted healthy options. They wanted affordable prices. They wanted reasonable hours. They wanted a lot of snack options. They were like, oh, students love soft pretzels. So that was one of the things at the top of our list, that if we're going to do a menu, we're going to have to involve soft pretzels on there.
And speaking of, we did get a chance to taste a bunch of things on the menu, more than I expected. Thank you.
That's what we're here for.
And I have the menu in front of me, and you are right. The prices are very reasonable. And for the prices, the food is delicious, honestly. All of it was great. I think out of all of them that I tasted, my favorite is the waffle muffin.
Oh, cool.
How you guys made that, I don't want to know your secret, but...
We'll tell you right now.
It's good. It's real good.
Thank you.
Yeah, biting into that burger was very satisfying.
Yeah, that too.
You like the burger?
That too.
Thanks. So that's a locally sourced patty. The bun's local. Those pickles are actually from the farmer's market, just a few blocks away from here. And going in the direction of just being a little bit more unique, that's a garlic dill pickle.
Okay.
So it's just got a little pizzazz on the end. Not good for like a first date. It's not like overly garlicky, but like it's a little different from just your average dill
It'll
pickle.
still do something.
Yes. It'll make you floss before going to sleep.
There you go.
Have you ever wanted to try anything, or have you ever tried anything food-wise, trying to make it or maybe develop something new that just wasn't working out? Or like...
Yeah, that's a good question. Thanks for asking. So many things. We like to try different things here. We actually have a list outside of our office, just creative ideas and special ideas that we want our staff to be involved in. So they write down ideas. We're like, half the people in the world right now are like in front of Instagram for like 23 hours a day. So we know they're, trying different foods. When they go back home to different states, they're going to different restaurants. So we want them to bring ideas to us and kind of create uniqueness in our restaurant. So we do taste testing here. We do a lot of collaboration with, our students that work here. So, we do try things and sometimes they don't work out. Off the top of my head, anybody? Bueller? We did a Nutella. We did like that Elvis sandwich. Elvis's favorite sandwich was that peanut butter sandwich with bacon.
Huh.
Yeah. There was something else on it. And banana. Yeah, so we did that. It was called the Elvis.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was called the King. It was
The
called
King.
the King. But instead of the peanut butter, we served it with Nutella. And that one just, for some reason, it didn't sell that well. Like it was cool. It sounded cool. It looked cool. But it was just one of those sandwiches that people just weren't, going crazy over.
That
Totally
sounds good, though.
understandable.
It does.
It sounds unique.
I'd eat it.
I mean, I would try it once. Absolutely.
It was probably better for like a weekend special versus like being on our menu.
Yeah. Which, speaking of, do you guys do any specials?
We do. Yeah, we do weekend specials, which in the very beginning, when we first opened, we didn't really do specials, which I don't know why. Just kind of like the guidance that we were given. And then we realized like people were always coming in like, what's your special? Do you have any specials? People like special. I'm special. I call my wife special every morning when we wake up. You are special. We actually do right on that window right there. That was our weekend special from last weekend. So it could be anything, but we always do like to have some form of a weekend special. So that's our opportunity. These are things that aren't on our menu full time. So we like to be creative with it. We like to use like local products that we don't necessarily source right now that we're thinking about doing. There's a local hot sauce vendor that makes their hot sauce with fruit. And we infused an aioli with their hot sauce for this burger special that we did last weekend.
Awesome.
Yeah. So specials are big. Well, I feel like whenever I go into a restaurant, I'm like,
it's true. What are the specials? I mean, it keeps everybody on their toes.
It does.
They're always trying new things, makes them want to come back.
Exactly.
So I have one more question for your customer base. Obviously, you're targeted at like kind of college kids. Have you guys done any like cool events or creative stuff? Obviously, you let them help build the restaurant, but any events or anything that they come to or come to see that kind of like is interesting and draws people in?
Yeah, we started doing pop-ups just a few months ago, and they're very popular during the school year. So at first we were reaching out to different companies, people that make like handmade goods and stuff. And we kind of set up the inside shop like in a space inside where they kind of showcase their stuff. We don't charge for it. So we really want to give local businesses an opportunity and also our customers to kind of buy things that they normally couldn't buy in like the store or in a mall or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
So those are popular. We've done events here. We started doing open mics just a few months after we opened. We also were doing, we collaborated with a local tile company around here. So we did a pop-up in their space where we brought over our coffee and some of our baked goods and people could buy Jay's local products.
Awesome.
While shopping, in a tile store.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So the collaboration is a lot of fun. We want people to utilize this space. Initially, we got involved with the school and we were like, we want you guys to come in, we're not going to charge you to rent out the space, but like, if a fraternity wanted to hold like an event here, or if like one of the departments wanted to do like a book reading or whatever, it's a very unique space and all the furniture could be moved around. So we've done a few things like that. We actually had my wife's bridal shower here.
Awesome.
It was very interesting Mrs. Maisel theme. So when you walked in here, it felt like a blast from the past. We also had our wedding here too. Yeah, our virtual one. We were one of those few who had to delay because of COVID. So we did our we did a virtual version of our wedding here.
Congratulations on
Thank
the
you.
wedding.
Feels like 30 years already. Don't tell her I said that, even though she's sitting right next to me.
So that pretty much wraps up the questions we had. Is there anything that you want to plug, add to the show? Or say that we didn't ask? Yeah,
I think we definitely want to give thanks to Muhlenberg College. They're a well-known liberal arts school that's been around since like the 1800s. I don't have a calculator on me right now, but they've been around forever. But they were just so accommodating. We're new. They don't know us. It's a restaurant, it's kind of scary. Your students are probably going to go to that place. So what are they going to be serving? Is this going to be a good atmosphere for our students? And they've just been, so welcoming. So awesome. Definitely thanks to them. The West End Alliance, which is a local organization, they throw out a quarterly newspaper, is it? They've been like amazing too. They like kind of showcase local businesses and tell you what's going on event wise in the community. And they've just been awesome. Just always asking us, if we need anything. And, you could really do anything in this neighborhood and they would, really want to get involved with it. So they're, writing articles about us. We're not like amazing. We just want to do good for the community.
Yeah.
And they're, trying to showcase our business and, get customers to come here. So definitely, we're thankful to them. I mean, I could list like a million people, but
no, that's very cool. And you say you're not amazing, but you guys are doing a lot for the community, especially a lot for the college.
Thank you.
Which I think is really cool.
Cool.
So we have a game that we like to play before we wrap up.
Heads up, 7-Up.
Kind of what we do, and normally we would bring it with us, but I didn't have something, is we think of a random ingredient that's kind of weird and out there and see how you guys would make a dish out of it.
Awesome.
So you got something on mind?
Not a bodily fluid, right?
No.
Okay.
You can buy it in a grocery store.
All right, cool.
Yeah, enoki mushrooms. Boom. How about that? They're like these weird, thin mushrooms about this long. Like
those super like Japanese ones.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Cool. Did you know that mushrooms was it Pennsylvania's like the capital of mushrooms?
I think
or
so.
something
I
like
did
that?
know there were a lot of mushroom farms,
Yeah.
but I did not know that.
There was a vendor who was trying to get us to buy some of their mushrooms. And for some reason or another, it just didn't work out. I think the price point was like a little bit out there for, what we were trying to do for our customer base. But we were definitely going to do some mushrooms. I think we might have used them for specials just to kind of, showcase that company. But in terms of like mushrooms, we do a lot of breakfast here, which is nice. A lot of people come in for brunch on the weekends. We don't do omelets, but you guys tried that campus breakfast, which is very popular. We do a Southwest avocado toast with scrambled eggs, and we do some slices of avocado, which is nice on a local bread. I think involving some kind of mushroom into that, I think people are always looking for like a unique taste with like eggs. I mean, eggs are so like diversifiable, if that's even a word. So I think, doing it in some kind of egg form.
Yeah, those mushrooms go really great with miso. I wonder if that would work with the eggs.
You do like a miso breakfast sandwich.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Huh.
There you go.
Stay tuned for the next episode.
There's your specialty idea for the next week.
Awesome. Could I ask you guys a question? I feel like we're on a
for it.
first date and I'm like that jerk who's like always talking about myself.
Absolutely.
So this is the start of like a new segment of Needle of sorry, I have a friend with that last name of Steel Pixels.
So yes, sort of. So we wanted to say, okay, well, what's an artist in the area that is kind of like, overlooked? And one of the big ones is cooking, because cooking is a form of art. Your expressions are in the food that you're making.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of trying to take the show and replicate it for restaurants. And what's great about it is we're doing it kind of for fun because we love to eat. I like to cook. He likes to cook.
Oh, cool.
I've spent a lot of time trying different dishes. Obviously, I don't own a restaurant, but
Awesome. Cool. Well, it's a great idea. I feel like the food scene everywhere is just like big.
Absolutely.
The fact that people were at home for an entire year, just like ordering in or like trying to cook. I feel like people have a respect now a little bit more for cooking. Especially, this is our first restaurant. I mean, I was talking about my mom, but I think in terms of our family, it's just we have like a bigger respect for food, how it's made, what's involved in a restaurant. I mean, in terms of like staffing and payroll and all that stuff. I mean, people will say that the restaurant business is like the hardest business in the world. It's not. You just have to. I think one of the most important things is passion.
Yep. Absolutely.
As long as you have that passion, you could do anything.
Especially if you have something that's driving the restaurant, like driving your passion behind it and keeps you passionate.
Right.
In your case, I think it is the local scene and your dad and everything else. His love is kind of like shown in this restaurant.
Right.
And it's very apparent that you guys care about what you're doing. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And it's been a pleasure, and we'll definitely be back.
Thanks, guys.
Whenever we're in the area. So.
Awesome. Yeah. Bethlehem's just a hop, skip, and a jump.
True.
That's why we never go there. It's too close.
Yeah. But thank you so much for having us, and thank you for coming on. And thank you, everybody else, for listening to the Lehigh Valley Food Podcast. Be sure to give us a follow on Instagram or Facebook, whatever you prefer. and check us out and see where we're going to be next, because we have some really, really great people coming on to the show, and I think we have some really exciting episodes coming up.